Welcome to the Boarded Up Music Series at Louie's. This week's guest has been the infamous Mr. Buddy Whittington from Fort Worth himself. And we're excited that you're here today. We're just amazed with what you're doing with your music.
I'm happy to be here with you guys. I tell you, we've all been kind of boarded up, so to speak.
Yeah.
Everybody's been in the old lockup for quite a while, and it sure is good to get out and play for the people a little bit.
Buddy, tell me this, man. Now, I know recently there was a write-up about you in, I think it was Guitar World, but you only made it to like number 27 as the best guitarist in the world. You know, is there anything you can do, maybe spice that up a little bit, maybe?
I was just happy that they spelled my name right and put me in the. It wasn't really a thing with placement. It was just 30 guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I made it in there. Maybe my old boss might have put John Mayall, might have had some. A little influence there, get my name in there somehow or something like that. I would have never in a million years thought I would have made the top 200, much less top 30. But I was happy to be there, and I'll take it.
I appreciate you mentioning John Mayall. Now, how did that come about? I know that you toured with him for what, about 15 years? 15
years. It started back in the old West End Marketplace, Dallas Alley. And we opened for our band. We had a local band called the Sidemen.
The Sidemen.
And we were opening for John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. It must have been I got in like 93, I think. So I was probably around 90, 91, something like that. And Jerry Thompson was running Dallas Alley back then. He was a good friend of ours and figured that we would be a good opening act for the Mayall band. So they let us play. And I looked down, and John's down there putting his keyboard stand together, like he always does, and setting his own rig up. And he said, I'd like to get your contact info, in case. He goes, I've got some recording coming up here in the near future. And he goes, I might need a guitar player on it if you're interested. And I said, yeah, give me a call, And it took about 2 years, but I finally heard from him. And we had a 3-year-old boy, and we just had a baby girl, and I hit the road for 15 years with them. Wow. No more than a month at a time. I mean, we go out for, I think the most I ever played in a stretch with him was 2 months in Europe, and that was enough for me. You know what I mean? Because I had kids at home. My wife was working, and my mother and her mother and dad were taking care of our kids. So we just thought, we need to come home and be a family. But anyway, it lasted 15 years. I had a great time. Played with all my heroes. And,
What were some of your influences as a guitarist?
Well, it depends on where you start. I started playing, I was drawn toward a lot of country guys back in the, early 60s, back when y'all remember Big D Jamboree and Cowtown Jamboree on TV. And they used to have, Eddie McDuff would be on there with his big old white Gibson, big old blonde Gibson. And you'd see Buck Owens with his sparkly Telecasters, and Don Rich and Merle Haggard and Roy Nichols and all those guys, I mean, I tried to pick up what I could from those guys. And then my sister came, my sister was 10 years older than me, and she would bring home all manner of 45s, R&B stuff, Motown stuff, Jimmy Reed stuff, Beatles, Stones, Kinks, whatever was on the radio, she would bring home. And I walked in her bedroom one day, and she had all these posters of these English-looking guys with long hair on the wall, and I was going, what's going on in here? And the record was playing with these unusual dialects, And next thing I know, I mean, I had been interested, like I say, from the country thing, and I had a little guitar. I was probably 8 years old when I got going.
Okay.
And, I should have had sense enough to quit by now, but I don't know how to do anything else.
Now tell me this, buddy. The music you guys were playing today, that's all original stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's all songs you've written yourself,
right?
And the band.
Yeah, those are. We have two albums out, and I've done some other recordings with some other like me and Mouse and Wayne play with the Dr. Wu Texas Blues Project quite a bit. We've done 5 or 6 albums with them. Jim Ashworth and Brian Freese being the principal writers, and we're the band, and that's been real good for us. But we have 2 Buddy Whittington CDs that we've done, and I think everything on those is original except for I've got one old ZZ Top tune that I love called "Sure Got Cold After the Rain Fell" that I did on the first one, and I believe the rest of them are all originals.
So now tell me this: where can once we get out of this situation we're in with COVID-19, where can people catch you?
Well, that's a good question. We work around DFW quite a bit. We have a little place. I live in Hurst. There's a little place we play over there called Broncos quite a bit.
Okay.
And I had 7 or 8 gigs on the calendar for this year over there, and they just went away along with everything else that we had.
Okay.
But I'm sure they'll come back. And we play, and me and Shake play at the Candlelight Inn. Me and Mounce play over there some too.
Mm-hmm.
The Candlelight Inn in Arlington. We do a little 2-man, sometimes 3-man thing over there. That's a lot of fun on a Tuesday night from like 7 to 9. It's easy to stop by after work and have some good enchiladas and a drink or two, and then you can go home and be in bed by 9 o'clock. But they haven't started having music yet, so that's all a glowing possibility.
Yeah. Well, buddy, we sure appreciate you being with us today.
Sure,
man.
thanks y'all. Thanks to everybody for having us over and letting us play a few tunes for you. We appreciate it, and hope we get to do it again.
Well, looks like 2021 is going to be the year that we're going to do it.
Well, I hope so.
Hopefully we'll see you real soon.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for attending the Boarded Up Music Series at Louie here in Deep Ellum.